Alright, so where I left off was we were going through the Cineversity course. Which do I still have pulled up? No, I don't. Okay. So Alright, so we were going through the Cineversity course, and we got to the 11th module, and then once he went to Fire Sims, my computer couldn't handle it and crashed.
Sphere.
And that's what we've got going here. But what I want to do is take a quick little detour like I did last time last time was in Blender, this time we're doing it in Cinema, but a quick thing, like a little challenge to design or to model a fluid sim in Cinema. Because I was looking into it, and with Blender there's like a particle simulation, but then there's also fluid sims. But in Cinema, it's essentially just I don't know what it's called, X particles or something like that. Oh, okay, this is the one I have my particle thing in. But then you have to turn particles, you have to use the particles with like a friction modifier, and then use that with a, what's it called? Mesh emitter? With something else. To then get it to make it look like liquid. So I'm gonna watch a quick tutorial that I found. Let's close this project real quick. Oh wait, this is playing? Oh, it's not doing anything. Alright, we'll come back to this. So I'm going to go through this. Particle tutorials, create fluid effects. And what we're going for is this.
A bit more like fluid, so it looks a bit more like water splashing.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, so from here we need to add a volume.
Volume builder, that's what it was. So I did like half of this, but then I didn't like how it looked, so I just deleted it. And then I went back and watched it again tonight, and he added a volume builder, which really helped with making it look like a fluid. So this is what I'm going to start with, and we're going to quickly model this guy, see where it goes. So we'll put Cineversity on the back burner for now. And yeah, we'll start there. Okay. And it's, oh Jesus, it's super easy, very, very quick.
Particles, and we're going to be making fluid simulations out of that.
Fluid
so, first of all,
sims.
shout out to Alessandro Bancio, who came up with this idea, and he is the creator of all of our Octane. Start by going to our particles, and we're not going to use a spline emitter, we're going to use a basic emitter, and we're going to change it from a rectangle under the shape, we're going to change that to a circle. I'm going to scale that down quite a bit, and we're going to position this right at the base of this helix so that we have the particles shooting out right at the bottom here.
Okay.
Alright, so we want these particles shooting out and then wrapping up around this helix spline. So we're going to do that under Simulate, we're going to click Forces, and we're going to click Field Force. And just to keep things tight,
Field
let's drag that
Force.
into our particle group so we have everything neat and organized. And
Huh? Oh, I gotta start with an actual emitter. So we'll add an emitter, then we'll add forces, field, put the
in that
field into the
force,
particle
we're gonna
group,
drag the helix into this field.
and then highlight the field and drag the... Wait, did you not add a circle?
Alright, so we want these particles.
Oh, no, I'm an idiot. Okay, it's not an actual circle. The particle emitter is the circle. Right. Circle. Man, it feels good. I am getting quicker at the just the navigation of Cinema, man,
particles shooting out
broke
and then
me.
wrapping up
Coming
around
from
this,
Blender.
like, spline. So we're going to do that
Oh,
under
shit.
Simulate. We're going to click Forces. And
But
we're
it's
gonna
feeling
click
more
Field
natural.
Force. And just to keep things tidy, let's drag that into our
It's literally
particle
just the
group so we have
difference
everything
between
neat,
Alt
organized.
and Control.
And in that field force, we're going to drag the helix into this field. Alright, so we're going to change the velocity type from add to velocity to set absolute velocity. We're going to crank up the strength a lot, maybe like 500. And now let's go into this spline here and change a couple settings. So
Okay, we're still highlighting force field, but now you want to click on the
for the
spline.
length, instead of use value, we're going to change that to normalize. And if we hit
Direction. Length, use value, normalize.
play, this particle system is now wrapping around that.
And if we hit play, dude, particles are so fun, man. They're so pretty. All right, 500. Ooh, look at that. Wow. All right. So I'm excited because this is supposed to help me learn how to, like, obviously particles are fun and you can create cool, pretty things, just like particles alone. But this is the first time where we're actually taking particles, which are cool and fun, and applying them to creating something that's more common, or probably is going to be used more, which is liquid. Especially things for, like, you know, like a product floating through the air with like a splash animation, or like the drip, or condensation maybe. So like the practicality of particles in liquid is very apparent. So it's like a more realistic way that we might be able to use particles in the future rather than just making cool, pretty particles. Which is why I'm excited for this.
helix. However, we have all these crazy lines here which we don't want, so we'll go to the display tab, and under the display box, let's uncheck that.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So now, let me make my little helix. Bastard. Never mind. So now we have, whoa.
So that we don't see those. Alright,
Dude.
this is looking good. Let's go to our...
Okay, wait. His helix is cooler. I want mine also to be. Do I have to make this editable? God, I can never remember the C. Of course. Right. Why can't I? Ah, there you go. I just had to make it editable. Okay. So now. Wow, look at that. And I forgot we had to be in 25 because of redshift. Take a look at the view. Looks like nothing, but it's cool.
basic emitter, and let's go to our rate and crank that way up, maybe to 10,000, so we have a lot more particles.
Damn, 10,000 is
It's
just.
looking good, but for this to be a fluid simulation, we're going to have a lot more randomness involved. So we're going to go to simulate for...
Look at that. The fact that it can handle this. I'm on a laptop, dude. The fact that it can handle this is impressive. That's cool. God, it's just so fun to play with this. Okay.
forces, and we're going to add a turbulence. So make sure this turbulence gets put underneath the field force. We need this stack to be organized so it reads the field force first and then the turbulence. All right, so under
Field
strength,
force,
we're gonna crank
turbulence.
this way up. The scale is going to be 25%, and the frequency will be maybe 65. And let's see what this looks like. All right, so we have a bunch of turbulence, and now we're getting a lot more randomness here, which is great. But these particles...
Mine looks exactly the same. Shit. Oh, I didn't turn up the strength. I also hate that the play button doesn't. Oh, look at that. Hell yeah. Nice. Nice. Ah, just so sick.
Are moving a little bit too far away from each other. They're kind of spreading out a bit.
So
too
you're
much.
gonna
So
want a
we're gonna
friction?
add some friction into this, and this is also going to give it a bit more
Nailed it.
viscosity, so it looks more like a fluid.
What,
So
under
we're
the
gonna add
turbulence?
friction. We're going to put it below the turbulence,
Mhm.
and let's crank the strength to maybe 40. We'll have maybe 1 on angular strength, and we're going to change the mode to force. And this is going to slow everything down. It's going to make the particles kind of glob together a little bit more. There's a bit more friction kind of pulling them together so they don't spread out quite as much. And this is going to look really nice.
His
once we put
follows the
this into a
path
volume.
almost directly. Why is mine offset? Is that because I offset it? Oh, I did offset it in the wrong. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to offset it in this direction. Give me Z offset, but then aligned correctly. So now, yeah, there we go. Okay.
Volume builder. All right, so that's looking
Um,
very good. Now to
I think I need more. Or actually, hold on. What if I just scale this bad boy up? Yeah, that's better. So I didn't want density, I just needed to scale the emitter. And then now,
to make this look like on angular strength, and we're going to change the mode
mine's so slow.
to force. And this is going to slow everything down. It's going to make the particles kind of glob together a little bit more. There's a bit more friction kind of pulling them together so they don't spread out quite.
So I'm trying to figure out why mine is slower than his. So it's 10,000 per second. Constant pulse shot. No. I feel like it's either a force field thing. Strength. Let's turn. Well, I don't really know what force field does. I think I can either turn up force field or turn down friction. Let's do like 20. I don't think that's gonna make it faster. That'll just make them. Oh, that made it way faster. Never mind. I'm dead wrong. No, because see, I want them to clump together. So give me 30. Oh, wait. Angular strength. Acceleration. What's acceleration mean? They're staying together. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, actually. I actually really like that. I'm gonna keep that.
Quite as much. And this is going to look really nice once we put this into a volume builder. All right, so that's looking very good. Now to make this look like fluid, we need to connect all these particles together, and we're going to do that with the volume builder. So if you didn't know, you can actually drag a particle group into a volume builder, and you do that by grabbing this folder called particle group and drag it right in here, and now we're making voxels out
So we
of
take
this.
this,
So
grab
under
this.
the voxel size, we're going to drop that down to 2.
Fuck, wait, don't do that. We grab volume builder and put this into here. And then voxel size.
And it looks really blobby, but we can
10 centimeters. Well, one.
smooth that out by clicking this SDF smooth. Just click that once, it's getting a lot smoother.
Wait, how come
And if you go back to
mine didn't do that at all? I took the volume builder and I put the particle group in the volume builder. And oh, 2? Huh?
To this particle group, there's some nice
Those are still particles.
settings for particle. Now we're making voxels out of
What did I
this.
miss?
So under the voxel size, we're going to drop that down.
If I turn this back to 10, still didn't do anything. Did you? No, you dropped that in there. Oh, maybe this is why. Oh, okay. Alright. Restart. Take my particle group. Select the volume. Take this. Drop that in there. Okay, there we go.
Down to 2. And it looks really blobby, but
Yes,
we
it
can
does.
smooth that out by clicking this SDF Smooth. Just click that once. It's getting a lot smoother. And if you go back to this particle group, there's some nice settings for particles. And one of them that's great is radius. If we increase this to say 50, it's going to get really big and blobby. And
Don't want that.
if we put this down, say to 5, it's going to kind of erode away, and it's going to make some holes in the mesh here and make it look a bit more like a fluid. So it looks a bit more like water splashing.
That's what we want.
Alright, so from here, we need to add a volume mesher. We'll drag
Oh, I didn't volume measure it. There's another step.
the volume builder into that mesher. That will also
Drag our volume builder into the mesher. Oh, she's looking good.
smooth it out a little bit. So now we're having this effect where everything's kind of globbing together and looks a little bit more like water. So what we're going to do now is
look
right click
at
on this volume mesher. And once you're done with the animation, it's really nice to add this into an Alembic file. So I like to bake as Alembic and then delete. So this is going to export it as an Alembic, and it's not going to export the particles, it's just going to export this mesh as the object. Alright, so now we can just delete our emitter and our particle group and go back to the first frame. Let's turn off that helix. And now you can see that we have our animation. We can scrub through it, which is awesome. We can even
Right.
time remap this, which is really nice. And there we go. We got particles that have turned into kind of a fluid type simulation. Then what you can do is add a product into here. We have another splash coming out of this bottle. And what you're going to get is a render kind of like this, which is really cool. If you're interested in this lighting,
Okay, so basically now what he did was bake it. So I don't know how. I mean, this is faster than Blender, I think, for the bake. Well, let's try it. So he did what? Bake as Alembic and bake as Alembic and delete. So we're going to save. Oh shit. I haven't saved this. Where are you? Particles. O2. So we're going to save this, and then now we're going to take Volume Builder and bake as Alembic and delete. So right now we're just caching the particle information. And this is pretty fast, if I'm not mistaken. 10,000 particles turned into a mesh and fed through a volume builder and then a mesher is kind of crazy. For 500 frames too, 26%. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Shit. Alright, while this loads,